Hello, and welcome back to Ascension with Vii. It is another solo dolo podcast episode with me, another short one, and I wanted to talk about something that just hit me. I just finished a actual podcast interview with a guest. I don't know why I said actual, like this isn't an actual podcast, but a guest episode. And I kind of made some notes over to the side about some things that I wanted to talk about solo. And it's this of allowing yourself to be successful. What do I mean by allowing yourself to be successful? Allowing yourself to be successful, I mean personal experience here, where it's like you get used to not being successful or not having the things that you dream of, or almost the thing of feeling like if I get the thing that I want, then there's not going to be anything else for me to have excitement over or be excited about or to work for, to shoot for, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of, not even kind of, it stagnates you and kind of keeps you in this like chokehold, keeps you stagnant from growing, from taking that next step. And then beyond that, there was a lot that I had to do recently of a lot of, if you're on my Patreon, let me insert it here. Join my Patreon so you can see what I'm talking about here, but I did put a free episode of it in the YouTube also here. I talked about the road to divine authority via chakra healing. And I said, you guys will be able to see a difference in me, in my confidence, and in my business and everything that I'm putting out on social media, podcasts, whatever the case may be. You'll be able to see the difference, the change within me and how I present myself and how I'm speaking and things of this nature because of my doing this inner work, this chakra healing, this energy work, clearing of self-limitations, programmings, and traumas and things that were holding me back, right? So that's something that I have been doing. I've been working very, very diligently on trying to heal my root chakra, my solar plexus, my sacral chakra, my throat chakra, to be able to confidently step into my power, confidently step into the version of me that is successful, that's confident talking about what it is that I do. I'm coming up on the first year anniversary of launching Ascension Oracle V. And a lot of changes have taken place within the Ascension Oracle V thing. And I started out when I launched it, I was so much in the very kind of like newborn baby fawn, like shaky leaf syndrome. And when I was taking my business class with it, it was a small class. It was just me and two other people that were in the class online, mind you. And when I had to speak about what it was that I did it, but I stuttered and I hesitated and I was really, really uncomfortable speaking about it because of, having like past life trauma of remembering being like burned at the stake for writing a spiritual book, right? And, and having that fear of speaking out about the spiritual or metaphysical things that I have, spiritual gifts and abilities that I have because of the aforementioned. But beyond that, also here currently in this current life, like I'm 32 years old right now. And back when I was a kid, you couldn't speak about the things that I talk about openly right now because, exactly what happened. You get put on a whole bunch of medications, to dumb down and suppress and water down your gifts and abilities. And again, I understand, I talked about it in a previous episode of why, it had to happen that way to kind of keep my gifts suppressed so that it wouldn't have this ripple effect and essentially prematurely activate, the ascension process. And a lot of other people went through this as well, where we had our gifts suppressed for the aforementioned reason. But that aside, there's a lot of things that, I couldn't confidently talk about when it came to who I actually really truly was authentically outwardly, and it had my throat chakra in a chokehold, and it had my solar plexus chakra in a in a whole mess. I had so many abdominal issues going on, and the fear of openly talking about who I was, what I wanted to do, and who I am in this business class was the struggle was an infinite amount of real. And when it came time, we had to do like a pitch exercise, I guess you'll call it, where we essentially had to be like, hey, my name is Stashia Jeanette, and I am the owner of Ascension With Vii. And, what I do is I'm a multidimensional traveler and guide, and I'm a mediator between worlds. And I help wealthy businessmen and those who have been living on a dark path navigate some new soul contracts, rewrite their soul contracts for either the continuations of this lifetime or next lifetime, so that they can have redemption and healing and ascension and start their journey towards being on their highest destined aligned timeline and path. And I couldn't do that. I couldn't say that at all. Like I went and I would be like, so I'm Stashia Jeanette, and they'd be like, cool, so what do you do? And I'm like, well, do you yeah, like do you know what the chakras are? So kind of what I so kind of like in a nutshell, like I work with, I'm good with energy, like I was trying my hardest to like tiptoe around any kind of potential trigger words that would alert someone to be like, what she say, like, so you do that, so you see you on that stuff, you doing that stuff, you're this, insert the chastising proverbial word here, insert the judgment words here, throw the stones, everybody get your pitchforks out. It was kind of like this thing that I was trying so hard to avoid setting off the alarm bells for anybody to potentially come and be like, like throw something at me type of situation. And again, the hindsight reflection of it was again, it stemmed from that deep fear of not being able to share my gifts and abilities openly. But this whole thing set the precedent to my fear of stepping into my own power and owning what I am and what I do. And that in itself then led to when I was making my business, it was like, so who are your target audience? And I wrote it right in my little business plan thing, who my target audience is. It's like I said, it's a lot of wealthy men, and it's a lot of men. Like, I'm gonna keep it about 100. It's a lot of men. It's like a lot of CEOs. It's like a lot of, and just very wealthy men who attained material wealth at the cost of their soul, at the cost of their soul, at their cost of their soul's growth and ascension. And then you have the people who have just been dealt a really bad hand in life, that, been through a lot of trauma, and they're just in a really dark space. And then you have the ones who just openly were just kind of just on demon time all the time, for lack of better words here, to save some time in this podcast, that are now being like, you know what, I'm done with the fast life. I'm done with the sex, drugs, money. I'm done with, just trying to do this. I'm done with all the fake friends. I'm done with all of the, the club scene and the hustling and this and that and the third. And I want to get my life together, and I'm really ready to show up for some real change. Like I knew these things, but when it came time for me to create my website and execute it and narrow down what it was that I was going to be offering, I didn't feel like I could say that. I didn't feel like I was ready. I didn't feel like I was confident enough. I didn't feel like I was good enough at the time to put myself out there and be like, I'm here to service the elite men, and these are my prices. I was so timid and afraid to step into that, because I was very much in that, like, who am I to say these things, and also the caveat in there, the little side note, like the little timeout spot for that, is me saying that there was also, it was like a stepping stone. that the way that I presented my business at first was kind of just like the come one, come all thing. But it was more than like, it was more or less for me to get my feet wet. It was more or less for me to establish a base. It was more or less like training for me to kind of get my confidence up there, for me to realize my worth, for me to realize that I deserve better, that I need to be doing better. And that I was like, I don't want to say that. Like, look, y'all always know that I'm gonna keep it a buck hundred. Essentially, that I was just like settling because I was still at that point in time not confident yet enough in myself, my gifts, my abilities, my power, what I came here to do, how I take up space, that I'm a mover, that I'm a shaker, that I'm a force to be reckoned with, that I do have these abilities to be able to rewrite and negotiate terms on your behalf, for your soul's behalf. And I do have the ability to rapidly accelerate your ascension and set you on your highest path. And I do have the abilities to make sure that you are on the straight and narrow and lined up to step into your highest self and to work on these wounds, and that we are going to make you face yourself, and that I am going to make you accountable for the things that you've done. But in these things, you are going to break through barriers that other people around you were enabling you and keeping you trapped in, right? So, I just wasn't there. And so I understand it, needed that time, last year up until 2 months ago, essentially, to mature, to ripen, to bloom. Last year was kind of me being like a freshly planted bush, right? That I had to fertilize and water all throughout last season. And then now this spring, here I am opening up and ready to bloom. Ta-da! But there was so much fear around my own greatness, for lack of better words. There was so much fear around me being successful, around me stepping into my power, around me taking up space, around me being that force, me being that authority figure, me being that, that exclusive person. Now my business is only, it's application only. Not everybody's going to be able to get in and work with me because of the heaviness and the magnitude and intensity of the work that I do and provide for those who do end up working with me. Very exclusive. And to be fair, I should have always been that way, because it's, I do pour a lot of time and energy into the people that I choose to help. And yeah, so it took me so long, though, like I said, up until just recently, 2 months ago, to be like, okay, I know who I am. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know who I'm serving. I know what my power is, and owning it. I have a friend who she says her business is Own Your Magic. And beyond that, it was me having to accept my power. If I'm being completely honest, God Source Universe always had it there, like was handing me the sword, and the sword was always there for me to have. The pinnacles was always there for me to have. The wand was always there for me to have. The cups were always there for me to have. All the things that the magician needs were always there for me to have. But like, I had to be willing to accept it. I had to be willing to grab it. I had to be willing to step into that power. I had to be willing to step into that role, because everything is free will, everything. So I needed to heal a lot of self-worth things within myself, and I want you guys to know that that's something that you guys need to do as well, is know that you are worthy. And I know it sounds so super cliche, and I'm like saying it, but really know that you are worthy of whatever God Source Universe has put within you to build, right? So like, you don't have this dream, you don't have this vision, you don't have this desire to build whatever it is that you're being led or guided to build for nothing. And you needing to step into that role has to come when you realize that you are worthy, really. There's no shortcut to it because it is, if you haven't seen the lunar eclipse in Virgo, love all the versions of yourself. I'll link it up here. But I said it in there that like it's you versus you all the time, and I do think there is the thing of God source universe only opens up certain doors for you when you're ready. And a lot of things, like I said earlier, will be a training ground for you until you have the training wheels on, until you learn how to you learn how to ride the bike, and I think that's what a lot of people will go through, or a lot of people are going through, but that's speaking from my own personal experience. That's what I'm saying. I looking back now, this last year coming upon, as I've already said, this May will be a year of me launching Ascension Oracle V business. This whole past year essentially has just been me with the training wheels on. And now the training wheels are off because I feel confident that I can do it. And God Source Universe already knew. God Source Universe always knows that, that you're capable of it, right? That you can do it because that's what you're here for. That's what you're here to do. But it's you that has to get to the point of being like, I can do this. I know what I'm here for. I know what I'm doing. I know what my purpose is. I know what I am good at doing. I know what my passion is. I know who my people are. I know what the mission is. Yeah, so it's very much about you being able to get to the point of where you're comfortable being that successful, powerful version of you that takes up space, that owns their power. And again, not from like an arrogant time out, not from like an arrogant point of view, not from some like cocky, egotistical thing. That's not it. Like if that's where you're going from, like you've made a wrong turn. There's still a lot of healing that needs to be done there. That's not it at all. But this is you just knowing who you are in accordance to God's source universe and who you are at the higher self level and what you are soul led and meant to be doing, like what your soul literally came here to be doing, and what your soul gifts and abilities and power is, and owning that. That's what I'm talking about. Nothing egotistical, nothing arrogant, nothing of this like I'm a god, nothing like this. No, but it is you accepting and stepping into your divine authority, stepping into your divine power, stepping into your higher self and accepting it confidently and not being afraid of the confrontation that comes with this. Again, said this in one of the Road to the Divine Authority, the chakra healing episodes. Not sure which one it was. I said it, of being okay. Oh, the heart chakra, throat chakra. Being okay with the confrontation that comes with you speaking your truth, and beyond you speaking your truth, you being your true self, right? And that comes along with you stepping into your divine authority position, your leadership position, you speaking to and accepting your target clients, your target people, whatever the case may be, right? You doing what it is that your highest self is doing, right? You stepping into your higher self, your highest self position, and being okay with some people not liking it, and that's just what it is. People can be upset, but like you need to be okay with them being upset and not pay it any mind. Like don't respond to comments of nasty comments or whatever. Delete it and keep it moving. It's a waste of energy. Your energy is sacred. And it's not for everybody. It's not to be wasted. And I hate to say it like that, but like it's not to be wasted on people who are just mad for no reason, because again, every single day we have the choice to evolve or repeat, and that's all it is. Every single day is you versus you. So if you're upset that somebody else is doing quote unquote better than you, then you have the choice every single day to change and do better for you. So that's what I mean. People are just being mad for no reason. And you just have to be okay with that, understand it, and send these people some love and healing energy, and then block them and keep it moving. Or don't. Hey, whatever. Some people thrive off of the haters, and that's fine too, but don't entertain them, and don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't give them the satisfaction, because it is what it is. These people are hurting, and these people are whatever, like I said, evolve or repeat, and they too can be great, and that's what it is. But you don't limit yourself, and don't be afraid to step into your power. Don't be afraid to step into those roles. Don't be afraid to raise your prices. Don't be afraid to become exclusive. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to, dress differently, or, if you occasionally want to talk your shit, if you want to hype yourself up some days, you go out there, and you do your thing. You pat yourself on the back, like, you got to be your own best friend. You got to be your own biggest fan in this thing, and you got to hype yourself up every single day to know who you are, and to own your power, and love it. And with that being said, that's all I got for you guys, and I hope this was helpful. Don't forget that now, what I say, you gotta put the application in if you want to work with me. And if you go to my website, I updated my website with the aforementioned things, so you can see what it is, what it's about. And if you're I want to put the disclaimers out here now. If you're one of the wealthy men, because it's already happened, there is no cheat line. There's no amount of money. Like, you can't pay me extra to try to like do the soul work for you. You have to do the work. I'm going to repeat it again. You have to do the work. I'm going to give you the tools, and I'm going to give you the ingredients, but you've got to assemble the thing. You have to bake the cake. You got to do the work. You have to be committed to doing the work. And also, I'm not for everybody, which is why I said I'm exclusive. But beyond that, I am high accountability. You can expect me to be on your ass about things. I'm going to call you out. I'm going to let you know, hey, this is what's going on. And you might be able to BS other people, but like, I see you entirely for who and what you are. I can see where you're wounded. I can see where there's blockages. I can see very clearly what's going on here. So like, let's cut the shit here, like, because what are we doing? I'm here to, at the end of the day, like, I'm here to help you ascend. I'm here to help you with your redemption. I'm here to help you, get on the straight and narrow. Like, I'm not here to coddle you. You've got enough of those people around you already. The yes men, the enablers, the fake friends, those who are just transactional relationships around you, who just are around you because you're beneficial to them and they're beneficial to you. Transactional, superficial relationships. That's not me. If you're just looking for somebody to sugarcoat and tell you the things that you want to hear and coddle you, I'm not for you. If you're looking for a quick fix and somebody that's just going to tickle your ear, and be like, okay, and so this is the things in love and light, I'm not for you. I am for the people who are literally fully committed, who realize, hey, I have effed up over here. Something ain't right. Something ain't right over here. Something got to change. We got to do something about this, and you're ready to put 10 toes down, boots to the ground, and do the work, because this is your soul. This is your life. If you're ready to literally no longer have that empty void feeling in your life, and you're not ready, you're no longer wanting to just sit around with the aforementioned fake superficial friend, people who don't really even know who the real you is. If you're tired of having your significant other that's literally only with you because of your money, because of your status, because of your power, because of your position, whatever the case may be, like, you're ready to make a change. You are ready to make a change, and you don't care at what has to go into it. That's who I'm talking to. You're committed to your soul's growth. Those are my people. And that's what it is. It's high accountability. It's deeply spiritual, and it's a lot of intense, rapid internal changes and shifts that are going to happen. We're going to talk about those inner child wounds. We're going to talk about the blockages that you have. We're going to talk about the traumas that you have. We're going to talk about the mommy issues, the daddy issues. We're going to talk about the things. I'm going to make you face yourself. And yeah. So if you're ready to get to work, let's do it. Put that application in. And on that note, I'll see y'all. B Squad.